If you're tired of waking up again and again at night just to use the bathroom, then this video might be exactly what you need. Because the problem may not be your age, but just a few daily habits that can be changed. And once you change them, your nights can finally feel peaceful again. One of the most effective and practical changes you can make to reduce waking up at night to urinate begins with how and when you manage your daily hydration. Many people, especially as they grow older, continue drinking fluids in the same pattern they used when they were younger, without realizing that the body's processing speed and nighttime regulation changes over time. The bladder becomes more sensitive, and the kidneys continue working steadily even when the body is trying to rest, which is why timing becomes more important than quantity alone. Instead of cutting down water completely, the goal is to shift the rhythm of intake so your body has enough time to process fluids before you go to sleep. When you drink most of your water earlier in the day, your body gets the full benefit of hydration during active hours. This supports energy, digestion, circulation, and overall organ function. As the day moves forward, gradually reducing fluid intake allows your kidneys to slow down output by nighttime. This simple adjustment can significantly reduce the pressure on the bladder during sleep. Many people are surprised to realize that they were not drinking too much water, but simply drinking it at the wrong time for their body's nighttime needs. Another important detail is how late evening habits affect the bladder. Even small sips of water, tea, or other beverages right before bed can trigger repeated waking. The body naturally processes fluids in cycles, and when you lie down, fluid distribution changes, often increasing urine production. By giving your system a 2 to 3 hour window before sleep with minimal fluid intake, you allow the body to reach a calmer internal balance. This is not about restriction, but about coordination with the body's natural rhythm. Temperature of beverages can also play a subtle role. Cold drinks in the evening may stimulate activity in the bladder for some individuals, while warm fluids closer to bedtime can sometimes be more soothing if taken earlier. Observing your own body's response helps you understand what supports calmness and what triggers urgency. Another overlooked factor is consistency. The body responds strongly to routine. When you drink at random times each day, your internal systems do not develop a predictable pattern. But when hydration is structured, your bladder begins to adapt and regulate more efficiently. Over time, the nervous system also becomes less reactive at night because it learns there is no sudden overflow or irregular intake to manage. It is also helpful to combine this hydration adjustment with mindful awareness. Drinking slowly, rather than large amounts at once, gives the body time to absorb and distribute fluids more effectively. Rapid intake can overwhelm the system and increase nighttime elimination later. Even small improvements in this area can gradually reduce the frequency of nighttime interruptions, allowing deeper rest cycles to form again without constant waking or discomfort. What you eat in the evening has a much deeper impact on nighttime bladder activity than most people realize, especially as the body becomes more sensitive with age. The digestive system and urinary system are closely connected, and when the evening meal is heavy, salty, or overly processed, it creates extra work for the body at a time when it is supposed to be slowing down and entering rest mode. This imbalance often shows up at night through increased urine production, frequent waking, and a restless sleep cycle that never feels fully complete. When you consume foods high in salt during dinner or late evening snacks, your body reacts by adjusting fluid balance. Salt causes the body to retain more water, and later, when you lie down and metabolism slows, the body begins to release that retained fluid. This is one of the reasons many people find themselves waking up multiple times at night without understanding the connection to what they ate hours earlier. Even foods that seem harmless, like packaged snacks, processed meats, or instant meals, can contain hidden sodium levels that quietly affect this balance. Heavier meals in the evening also slow down digestion, keeping the body active internally when it should be winding down. Instead of directing energy toward repair and rest, the body remains engaged in breaking down food, which indirectly influences kidney activity and bladder sensitivity. Over time, this pattern can train the body to remain more active at night, making it harder to maintain uninterrupted sleep. On the other hand, lighter evening meals give the digestive system a chance to settle earlier. Fresh vegetables, simple proteins, and easily digestible foods allow the body to complete most of its processing before bedtime. When digestion finishes smoothly, there is less internal pressure, less fluid imbalance, and a calmer urinary response during sleep. This does not require strict dieting or complicated planning, but rather mindful choices that prioritize simplicity in the evening hours. The timing of the meal is just as important as its content. Eating too late keeps the digestive system active when the body should already be preparing for rest. Allowing a gap between dinner and sleep gives your system enough time to complete digestion, stabilize fluid levels, and reduce unnecessary nighttime activity. This small shift often creates noticeable improvement in sleep continuity. Another subtle factor is how the body responds to overly spicy or highly flavored foods in the evening. These can sometimes stimulate internal systems more than expected, increasing circulation and metabolic activity at a time when calmness is needed. Choosing milder flavors at night can help signal the body that the day is ending and recovery mode should begin. When these dietary adjustments become consistent, the body slowly learns a new rhythm where nighttime is no longer a cycle of internal disturbance, but a period of steady rest and reduced urgency. Regular gentle movement plays a much deeper role in bladder health and nighttime comfort than most people assume, especially in older adults, where circulation, muscle tone, and fluid regulation naturally begin to slow down. When the body remains inactive for long periods during the day, it becomes less efficient at managing fluids, and this often shows up at night as increased pressure on the bladder and frequent interruptions in sleep. Movement is not just about fitness or strength, it is about helping every internal system stay responsive, balanced, and coordinated. When you walk even at a slow and relaxed pace, your muscles act like pumps that help circulate blood and lymph fluid more effectively. This improved circulation prevents unnecessary fluid buildup in the lower body during the day, which is one of the hidden reasons people wake up at night to urinate. If fluids are not properly circulated while you are active, your body naturally tries to correct the imbalance when you lie down, leading to increased nighttime urine production. This is why simple walking during the day can make a noticeable difference in how peaceful your nights become. Light stretching also supports this process by keeping muscles flexible and reducing stiffness that often develops with age. When the body is stiff, internal pressure patterns can change, including pressure around the abdomen and pelvic region, which can indirectly influence bladder sensitivity. Gentle stretching helps release this tension, allowing the body to function with more ease and less internal resistance throughout the day and night. Another important benefit of movement is its effect on metabolism and fluid processing. A slightly active body processes fluids more evenly, preventing sudden spikes in urine production later. It also helps regulate hormones that influence kidney function and water balance. Even short, consistent activity spread across the day can train the body to maintain a more stable internal rhythm, reducing the chances of sudden urgency during sleep hours. Many people think exercise must be intense to be effective, but in reality, consistency matters far more than intensity, especially for senior health. A calm 20 to 30-minute walk, done daily, is often enough to create meaningful changes in how the body handles fluid distribution. The key is not to exhaust the body, but to keep it gently active so that every system remains engaged and balanced without strain. Movement also has a calming effect on the nervous system. When you are physically active during the day, the body naturally releases built-up tension, which helps reduce restlessness at night. A calmer nervous system means fewer unnecessary signals being sent to the bladder during sleep, which contributes to longer and more uninterrupted rest cycles. Over time, when gentle movement becomes a regular part of daily life, the body begins to self-regulate more efficiently, and nighttime disruptions slowly reduce as internal balance improves in a steady and natural way. Strengthening the pelvic floor muscles is one of the most overlooked yet powerful ways to improve bladder control, especially in older adults who experience frequent nighttime urination. These muscles form a supportive base for the bladder and surrounding organs, and over time, they naturally weaken due to aging, inactivity, or long-term habits that put pressure on the lower abdominal area. When this support system becomes weaker, the bladder loses some of its stability, which can lead to sudden urges, reduced control, and the need to wake up multiple times during the night. What makes pelvic floor health so important is that it directly affects how well the bladder can hold and release urine in a controlled way. When these muscles are strong and responsive, they act like a natural valve system, helping the body delay urgency until the right moment. But when they are weak, even a small amount of pressure from fluid changes in the body can trigger the sensation of needing to urinate. This is why many people feel a sudden urge at night, even when the bladder is not overly full. The good thing is that these muscles respond very well to simple and consistent exercises. They do not require equipment or intense workouts, just focused awareness and gentle practice. When done regularly, these exercises help retrain the connection between the brain and bladder, improving control and reducing unnecessary signals that trigger nighttime waking. Over time, the body becomes more efficient at holding urine comfortably during sleep hours. Another important aspect is that pelvic floor strengthening also improves circulation in the lower body. Better circulation reduces pressure buildup around the bladder area and helps maintain a more balanced fluid distribution throughout the day. This balance is essential for preventing sudden shifts in fluid levels at night, which often lead to repeated bathroom visits. Consistency is more important than intensity when working on these muscles. Even a few minutes of daily practice can gradually create noticeable improvement. The key is awareness, learning to engage the correct muscles without straining the abdomen or thighs, and building a steady routine that becomes part of daily life rather than an occasional effort. As these muscles regain strength, many people notice not only better bladder control, but also improved confidence in daily activities. There is less worry about sudden urgency, fewer disruptions during sleep, and a stronger sense of stability in bodily functions. This creates a positive cycle where improved control leads to better rest, and better rest further supports overall recovery and energy. Over time, this simple yet powerful practice helps restore a sense of balance in the body's natural control system, allowing nights to become calmer, sleep to become deeper, and the overall quality of life to improve in a steady and lasting way. A consistent sleep routine, calm mental state, and mindful avoidance of late stimulants can have a surprisingly strong effect on how often you wake up at night to urinate, especially in older adults whose bodies are more sensitive to internal rhythms. The bladder is not working in isolation during sleep. It is closely connected to the nervous system, hormone balance, and the overall state of relaxation in the body. When these systems are unsettled, even slightly, the bladder can become more reactive than usual, leading to unnecessary nighttime awakenings. One of the most important factors is regular sleep timing. When you go to bed at different times each night, your internal clock becomes confused, and this affects the hormones that regulate both sleep depth and fluid balance. The body relies on predictable cycles to decide when to rest deeply and when to process fluids more actively. If bedtime constantly changes, the signals that tell your kidneys and bladder to slow down or stabilize become less efficient, and this often results in frequent interruptions during the night. Stress is another major hidden influence. When the mind is tense, anxious, or overloaded with thoughts, the nervous system remains in a slightly alert state even during sleep. This low-level alertness can increase sensitivity in the bladder, making it more likely to send urgent signals even when there is not a strong physical need. A calm mind supports a calm body, and this connection is especially important for uninterrupted sleep. Simple relaxation practices, slow breathing, or ending the day without emotional pressure can help shift the body into a more restful mode. Caffeine and other stimulants also play a key role. Many people underestimate how long these substances remain active in the body. Even if taken in the afternoon or evening, caffeine can still influence bladder activity at night by increasing urine production and stimulating the nervous system. This not only leads to more fluid output, but also makes the bladder more sensitive to filling, creating a cycle of repeated waking that disrupts deep sleep stages. Creating a calm bedtime routine helps signal the body that it is time to slow down. When the environment and habits habits before sleep are consistent and peaceful, the brain gradually associates those cues with rest. Over time, this conditioning helps reduce nighttime awakenings because the body learns to stay in a deeper sleep state for longer periods without interruption. As these small but steady adjustments become part of daily life, the nervous system begins to stabilize, the bladder becomes less reactive, and sleep naturally becomes more continuous and restorative without constant disturbance or repeated waking cycles.